Multi-vector integration is Kazakhstan's chosen course of development, and the program, Single Market.
Everything is interconnected in this world, even more so than we realize. And all the current events of the global economy attest to this. Rapid fall of prices on the hydrocarbon market and volatility of the financial system. Hello, my name is Pavel Koktyshev. In today's program, what are the Eurasian Economic Union members expecting from the 162nd member of the WTO? Iran, the Caspian vector of Kazakhstan's international cooperation strategy. And coming right up, BRICS and Eurasian Economic Union. The architecture of the world economy needs to be renovated. Its heavyweight structure is not fit for the imperatives of our times. The mobile era requires mobile solutions. And this is possible only in a multipolar world where new vectors for growth are appearing. Alternative centers can draw into their orbits countries which, due to their dependence on the policies of powerful states, cannot flex their economic muscles. Appearance of these new centers will not only facilitate the maintenance of the balance of interest, but will also create opportunities for new options of integration. The option, BRICS Eurasian European Union, is one of the more probable ones. What is facilitating the rapprochement of these two groups? Each one has only developing member countries as members. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The Eurasian Economic Union is Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Armenia, and Kyrgyzstan. Russia, being a key member of both these associations, is the unifying factor. Another important aspect, the new development bank that was established within the framework of BRICS is planning to collaborate with the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Both financial institutions were established as a result of China's initiative, a country that is interested in projects connected with infrastructural investments, including on the territory of Kazakhstan. Now let's take a look at the background data. The total population of BRICS countries is 43% of the world population. This indicates a potential for cheap labor force. The next factor, big reserves of mineral resources from various types of ore to hydrocarbons and diamonds. And finally, an impressive production base. The combined GDP of the 5 BRICS countries is 21% of the world gross product. The Eurasian Economic Union. Statistics. Total territory of more than 20 million square kilometers, the largest out of all integration associations. The map of mineral resources is the most extensive. Some of the countries hold leading world positions in this respect. Aggregate GDP almost $3 trillion. Intersecting points of both associations lie on the plane of geoeconomics. BRICS and the Eurasian Economic Union have found themselves in a difficult situation. The national currencies of their member countries, due to the catastrophic plummeting of prices of mineral resources and volatility on the financial markets, are under the pressure of the US dollar. On the other hand, international financial institutions are cutting back their investments into the economies of developing countries. Thus, the summary, the alliance of these young integration associations is promising.
Это мотивированная перспектива.
In the summer of this year, Switzerland officially announced the completion of talks on Kazakhstan's accession to the WTO. The big date is set for 2.5 months from now, with Kazakhstan becoming the 162nd member of this international organization. The country will enter the new year with new rules regarding trade, competition, and support of its producers. What are Kazakhstan's Eurasian integration partners thinking in this regard? Our correspondent in Minsk, Dmitry Dvoinev, brings us the story. Belarus holds the observer status at the World Trade Organization since 1993. Today it is conducting talks on 4 main topics. At the center of attention of the talks are issues such as harmonization of the country's legislation with the multi-party agreements of the WTO, access to the market for goods and services, state support of agriculture, and creation of joint enterprises with the participation of businesses of Belarus and countries that are members of the World Trade Organization. A lot of work has already been done on the path to accession to the WTO. This is the responsibility of every country to find advantages within the frameworks of economic union. Each decision presumes some progress. There is progress in the fact that Kazakhstan will start abiding by the rules of the WTO earlier than Belarus. For example, good opportunities are opening up for joint enterprises that are operating on the territory of Kazakhstan. Their products will enter the markets of third-party countries under WTO conditions.
Я с оптимизмом смотрю на те сборочные проекты, по которым сейчас реализуются в Казахстане.
I'm optimistic about the projects that are being realized in Kazakhstan at the moment. There are probably countries where Belarusian tractors that are assembled in Kazakhstan, as well as other agricultural machinery, can be exported.
Можно было бы экспортировать далее.
By the way, Belarus, which is currently in the middle of talks on accession to the WTO, also takes into consideration Kazakhstan's experience in defending its interest on some issues. Here it is well understood what it means during WTO talks for a country to achieve an optimal level of state support under the conditions of its own economic development. This especially concerns agriculture.
Казахстан поступил абсолютно правильно, учитывая количество пахотных земель и учитывая
Kazakhstan made a very good decision taking into account the number of plowlands and tough climate conditions in the territories where these lands are. It is understandable that the state has to provide support to its agricultural industry in Kazakhstan. With the neighboring Russia, which always experiences shortage in food products, Kazakhstan may become one of the leading food exporting countries.
одним из ведущих мировых экспортеров продовольствия.
However, membership in the WTO does not only entail new prospects, but also difficult trials for businesses. New rules will open up access for a large inflow of imported products. Belarusian experts believe that within these conditions, producers of Eurasian Economic Union countries will have to create professional associations. They will have to establish close contacts with the World Associations of Producers of various products. That way, it will be easier to compete on the new markets. Cooperation can help optimize cost, increase the quality of products, thus making them more competitive. Small businesses in our countries underestimate the role of cooperation, the role of alliances, and the role of associations. Isolated players, just like desperate troops on the battleground, never win great battles. That is what they need to be taught. The Association of Manufacturers of Roof Coatings, Wooden Doors, Wooden Floors, Metal Products will be working with international associations that set innovative technical parameters.
Которые будут работать с мировыми этими ассоциациями, где задаются современные технические инновационные параметры.
On the one hand, the WTO gives business the motivation to produce competitive products and invest their funds more actively into the development of production or into new projects. Entrepreneurs will have more of an incentive to keep financial assets within the territory of their respective country, using them as investments because conditions for exports will be more favorable.
Когда Россия вступила в ВТО, мы добровольно, и Беларусь, и Казахстан согласились.
When Russia entered the WTO, we willingly, Belarus and Kazakhstan, agreed to those duties on imports that Russia agreed to. And that is why it was easier for products from abroad to reach our markets. For our products, however, there were challenges as a consequence of customs duties. Now they will be on the same level with ours.
Выровнены с нашими.
Belarus is actively watching after what is happening with Kazakhstan's economy and what new prospects await the country at this new stage. But this is not just idle curiosity. As you may have noticed, people from Belarus who gave us interviews use pronouns such as we, us, and ours. This shows that today we are united not only by the present, but also the future. Dmitry Dvoinev, Minsk, exclusively for Single Market. Throughout the year, at least 3 things happened that have played out in the interest of expansion of cooperation between Iran and Kazakhstan. The first is the opening of the railway, Iran-Turkmenistan-Kazakhstan. Second, creation of the Eurasian Economic Union, among the members of which are already 2 active partners of Iran, Kazakhstan and Russia. And third is the lifting of sanctions against Iran. What new horizons of trade and economic relations between Iran and Kazakhstan will these three factors open up? Our correspondent, Nina Kumambetova, brings the story. Iran and Kazakhstan. Both countries are located in the same part of the world. What's more, they have common historical roots and absence of disagreements on geopolitical issues. But the most important is the readiness on work closely within new global realities. Joint participation of Iran and Kazakhstan in regional structures such as this SCO, CICMA, and OEC is facilitating this process, as well partnerships with the states of the Caspian region. Areas of collaborations are clearly marked in infrastructural projects, oil pipeline, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran, and the new railway line, Zhanaozen, Beriket, Korgan. The presidents Hassan Rouhani and Nursultan Nazarbayev attach special importance to issues in the field of transit. Thanks to the opening of the new railway route, the potential of trade turnover between Iran and Kazakhstan may increase fivefold. It will open up access to new markets and promote a rise in the volume of cargo shipments of strategic products. The railway line opens up the possibility for the transshipment of 10 million tons of cargo, which is very important. By using this route, Iran will have access to the markets of Russia and China. We will have an entry path to all the states of the Persian Gulf. Processed products dominate the import structure of Iran and Kazakhstan, around 89% of the total volume of imports. 39% of these products are chemical industry products. In turn, Iran is interested in Kazakhstan's grains. Last year, grain export volumes exceeded 180 million US dollars. The threefold rise in Kazakhstan's exports of wheat to Iran is connected with the partial lifting of sanctions imposed by the West. According to analysts, under the new rules, trade turnover between the countries will continue to grow. We will see advantages in two aspects. Our Kazakhstani entrepreneurs will be working on Iran's market, with Iran opening up. And also Iran's companies will enter Kazakhstan's market. We will have something to learn from each other. Aside from the increase in trade turnover, new prospects in the relations between Kazakhstan and Iran also entail diversification of economic cooperation. The results of the Kazakhstan-Iran Business Forum, which was held in Astana last fall, support this. During the forum, an agreement was reached on the realization of new projects in the amount of 500 million US dollars. Iran has very interesting projects in the sphere of information security due to their course of development. There are also some interesting things happening with respect to new petrochemical materials. By the way, now Kazakhstan's entrepreneurs do not necessarily have to go to Tehran to familiarize themselves with the prospects projects of their Iranian partners. This can be done at the new Kazakhstan-Iran Center of Innovative Technologies that opened up in Almaty. The next step in cooperation in the sphere of IT will be the opening of a similar center in the Park of Innovative Technologies, Khorasan, in the Iranian city of Mashhad. Iran can share its know-how with Kazakhstan. We can help with marketing and the search for new scales markets. We're also ready for the realization of joint projects with Kazakhstan and especially for the creation of joint enterprises. After the long-awaited lifting of sanctions against Iran, the trade and economic relations between the two countries will undoubtedly get a second wind. And this concerns not only larger joint projects, but also smaller deals concluded on the level of small and medium businesses. In the spring of this year, in Iran's mass media news often appeared about Iran's interest in joining the free trade zone of the Eurasian Economic Union. If this does happen, then we will become witnesses to an even more interesting history of trade and economic relations between Iran, Kazakhstan, and our Eurasian partners. Nina Kumambetova, Anatoly Valyuevsky, exclusively for Single Market. That's all for today. My name is Pavel Koktashev. Kind reminder, all the episodes of our program are available on www.kazakh-tv.kz.